The exec function in Python. In the previous lecture, we talked of the eval function. Today we discuss the exec function, syntax and examples, risks with exec and how to solve them. Exec is a built-in function that executes the given source in the context of the given globals and locals. This is the syntax. It takes three arguments: source, globals, and locals. The source to execute is a string holding one or more statements. This can be a code object returned by the compile function. Globals is a dictionary and an optional parameter. The default for this is the current globals. Locals is any mapping and is optional. The default is the current locals. If we only provide the value of globals and not that of locals, locals takes on the value of globals. While eval only evaluates, exec lets us dynamically execute code. Actually, it passes a set of statements to execute. This is if no error is raised. But if it's simply object code, it executes it. Also, while eval evaluates an expression and returns a value, exec doesn't return anything. This explains why we cannot use return and yield statements outside function definitions. Time for an example. This is object code with two statements. The first initializes num1 and num2 to 7 and 8. The second prints the f string to depict their addition. When we execute it, 7 plus 8 is 15. Like eval, exec can work with user input. What shall we do today? We store this in the variable code. The user provides this for statement. Now execute it. This prints the value, its square, and its cube for the number 0 to 5. Exec was able to execute it. Now that we've learned about both exec and eval, let's compare the two. Let's build a dictionary comprehension for this. This is a dictionary comprehension we pass to exec. It prints nothing. Passing it to eval prints the dictionary it creates. This is the dictionary of the cubes of numbers 0 to 5. Eval has its own risks, but exec does too. Like eval, exec executes anything you give it. This means a user can call a dangerous function, access confidential data, and also read or delete files on your system. Let's watch this in action. Let's import the OS module. The user wants to list out the files in the current directory. When we execute this, the user can see the entire list of files in the current directory. Do you think this is safe? So what we do about this is that we use dir to check what variables the user can access. For this, we restart the shell. Okay, this is what the user can access. Now let num be 8. Define a function hello that prints out hello. Call dir again. Now the user can also access the names hello and num. Let's import py from the math module. Now the user can also access this. Step 2. With globals and locals, we can restrict access. Execute the print call to dir. Now execute it with an empty dictionary as globals. The user can now only access the built-ins. Let's execute the print call to py. Let's execute this with an empty dictionary as globals. This raises a name error since it cannot access py. To let it access py, we can add it to the globals. Although we call it py here, you can literally call it anything you want. Let's call it mypy. See, it works. Let's try providing values for both globals and locals. The globals has built-ins and the locals has the names sum and iter. So the dir function gives us these two names. If we set built-ins to none, it raises a type error. But if we do add the dir in the locals, now it can access it and print and sum. Another way to do this is to use the built-in globos and locals functions. This prints all the names available. That's all for today. Until next time.